So we're here and it's about 90 degrees in sunny Orlando. We're about to go off on our Bahamas cruise. Come along with us to see all the wonderful flowers and the beaches and everything they have to offer. And if this is your first time here, my name is Marlene. Welcome to Marlene's How-Tos, my home and garden channel. So our cruise started at Port Canaveral, which is very close to Orlando. And you can see that our ship is waiting right there. And we did use Royal Caribbean, and this video is not sponsored by them. It just happened to be the cruise line that we used to go to the Bahamas. And our first port of call was actually called Coco Cay, or some people say Coco Key. And you can see that there were two ships lined up there that went over together. And over here, we're trying to decide, do we take the tram or do we just go ahead and walk over to the quay? And we said, we'll just go ahead and walk. You can see the Bahamian flag right there. And over here, these are all the signs that tells you, where you're going on the island. If you want to do zip lining, you want to go to South Beach, you want to go to the Oasis Lagoon, the different grills. They had free lunch and all of that was available. So next it was time for us to start exploring the island. As you can see, they have a lot of beautiful tropical plants right here. And I think what surprised me the most is that these plants are just growing in the sand. Because sand doesn't have a lot of nutritional value for these plants, but they seem to be doing very, very well there. And that pretty colored one that you're seeing right there, that's actually a croton. And I just love the leaf pattern. They're kind of like a coil and they just look so pretty. Typically, they produce some tiny white, off-white flowers with some little berries. But they didn't need any today. They were just so beautiful. Speaking of blooms, look at this beautiful poinciana right here. I've always loved this plant growing up in Jamaica. It's such a rich red. It's in the same family as peas and beans, which would be the legume family. And when it gets more mature, the petals, and they fall off, you have the bean pods coming up and usually dark and large, and you can use them to shake them like as a musical instrument. So we always thought that that was such a fun plant. And this right here is kind of a cousin to the Poinciana Orange Pride of Barbados. Same family, similar types, but they're a little bit smaller. And over here you can see not just blooms are beautiful, but these leaves right here, look how showy they are. Very nice. This nice variegated green and white pattern with little flecks in there. I just thought it was so unusual and so cute. I really like it. This is very tropical though, so this is best enjoyed in a tropical area and it needs to be outdoors, so it would not make for a good indoor plant. But we certainly enjoyed while it is there. And this one also produces some very small flowers. You may see little green stalks coming off right there, very tiny flowers. But they got to reproduce just like anything else in that way. So of course, you're going to have something there. So as we go further down the line, you'll see a darker color one showing up down there. And this is actually the same type of plant. But this one, instead of being green and white, it has those little, different shades of red, pink, peach, and so on. I think it's just absolutely fabulous. And it's a great way to, display beautiful foliage in these tropical areas. And over here, this is the glorious oleander. This is a mainstay of tropical areas. They're very drought resistant, such beautiful bright colors. And it just looks so wonderful in the breeze blowing right there. It just makes you feel so relaxed. And you see some hibiscus growing lower, and those are actually double ones. So next we made our way around to the beach. You can see right there, there are lots of umbrellas. There are lots of lounge chairs. We get towels to sit and relax. And of course, go in and enjoy the water. It was very warm and very inviting. So we absolutely had a wonderful time doing that. Then it was time for lunch. And over here we had this baby seagull. He decided he wanted to come and indulge too. So we gave him a little something to eat. And he took his little time, got to it, and, enjoyed it. So that was very cute to see. And over here they had a sand castle. I'm not sure if they build them, like new ones every day. But this one says Coco Cay. So it basically, is telling you about the little key that we're on right here. And I thought it was really cute. And over here they had some sea grapes. And that's another thing that's very common in the tropical areas, of the Bahamas, Jamaica, and so on. And they can be used to make jams and jellies. So then it was time for us to go back on the ship and go to our next port of call, which in this case was Nassau, Bahamas. So we were saying bye right now to Coco Cay. You can see it going away in the distance. It was quite an enjoyable stay, but it was time to move on to our next stop. You can see people walking along there, making their way back and forth over on the gangway. And we really were celebrating our 25th anniversary. So, of course, we got dressed up for dinner, took some nice photos, and had a wonderful time. And then this was a dining room right here, dressed up, very nice, as you can see. And we went on in to enjoy it. This was my favorite right here. It was lamb in a nice Indian curry sauce. And they had like a roti right there. And my husband, he had steak and potatoes and veggies and so on. There were 3-course meals that was quite enjoyable. And we'll do a follow-up live video that goes into a lot more, step-by-step of what happened on the cruise. But, we're just looking at flowers today, so I don't want to take you too far down that road. So there in the distance, you can see Atlantis. We're making our way over to Nassau. You see the nice, those pastel colors that are so typical of the tropical areas. And over here is another oleander, very bright and beautiful. And they're just this wonderful plant. You can see a little pod right there to the right where the seeds would be for this plant. To plant it that way, of course, it can grow from cuttings as well too. They're a little toxic though to plants and animals, to people and animals, so you have to be careful with those. And then over here now we have some lighter pink colored ones, and these ones were more common for me growing up in Jamaica. I tended to see a lot more of these, but they also come in white as well too. And again, these are very tropical, so they're not going to be able to handle cold weather. Next, we saw, another mainstay here. This is the hibiscus, and these ones are not the hybrid ones that we typically see in America and other places. These ones are the purebred ones. You can see how long the style is right there. And this one is a yellow one right there, just so beautiful. This is great for a flower behind the ear. You can see another one right there, just such a striking yellow color. And then over here, this is a lily. This is called a crinum lily, and I was seeing so many of them. And I think they're gorgeous. They're just so elegant, the way they stand with those nice, large, beautiful leaves and that blush of pink that's on there. And like I said, there were quite a few of them over the island, and there's also the white one to it as well too. They remind me a little bit of spider lily, but they're not, they're something else. So that was really good to see. So there's a close-up of what the petals are looking like and the leaves for you to see how they are. Very, very, very nice plant, I thought. And if you're liking this video so far, be sure to give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. So over here now we have, this is red Dracaena, and I had never seen this bloom before because we quite often grow these in containers, in temperate areas, but I'd never seen them seed like they're doing here. The berries are on there, and we saw the flowers just now. So that was very unusual for me to see. But, when they're in their, their natural environment where they get to grow year round, you get to see more things like that coming out of them. So that was really good to see. I didn't know they looked like that at all. And over here now we have the heliconia, and these are just always so wonderful. Even sometimes you'll see people have them as house plants in their houses. So that one can be, grown that way. And over here, this is a cousin to it. This is the bird of paradise. It has such beautiful bright colors, those strong orange colors. It almost reminds me of a mango. And then over here, this is the umbrella plant. Some people also call it a shower plant or a trinette. And this is a variegated one here. You can see, because they do have the solid green ones as well too. But this one is the one that's white and green, which is quite beautiful. Over here, we have the sago palm, also called cycas. And this is kind of like, one of those nice palms that is very beautiful. They're kind of expensive though, and they really are best kept to tropical areas. Love them. And then over here now we have, this is lady palm, and I see these quite a bit used as house plants, in temperate areas or tropical areas, whichever one you prefer. They grow really well. They're not very large, and they're very, very beautiful, especially if you have a kind of a minimalist type decor. This works very well, or a tropical decor. And over here we have another palm. This one is the windmill palm, or sometimes called a fan palm. And along with that, you can see we have another eucalypta here. Very beautiful, blowing in the breeze. It just gives you that wonderful, wonderful tropical feeling. And over here we have the ixora. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is the peach colored one. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of hydrangea that we grow in our area. And over here we have a blue agave. And then, of course, you're going to see the wares being sold here. These are some wonderful tie and dye t-shirts, dresses, you know, just different things that they have, cover-ups and all of that, and things for kids as well too. So we have to take a look at those since we're on the island. And over here we have, you know, like carvings, you know, turtles. We have the conch or conch shells, as some people call them. There's starfish. They use shells, just different things to make jewelry and different things you can use to decorate your home. So those are always very nice to see. This is the closest I came to seeing yellow elder, which is actually the national flower of the Bahamas. This is not yellow elder, but it looks a lot like this plant. And this is actually the 50th year, so that's so coincidental that we got to be there in the Bahamas at that time for them. And then it was time to depart from Nassau, you know, to say goodbye and head on over to Orlando. And here we saw some beautiful flowers. These are bromeliads right here. I think they're so, so gorgeous. And this plant is in the same family as the pineapple. They like shade and they're tropical, of course, but you can grow them indoors. And if you like gardening, you know, topics, flowers, even half as much as I do, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap on the notification bell so you'll never miss an upload. And you can watch past videos as well too. Over here, this one is another bromeliad. A friend of mine had a nice stop by. And you can see it's really beautiful right there. The flowers are just coming up and you can see that red area that's actually on the leaves, I guess to, you know, bring the pollinators closer into the plant, kind of, you know, pull them in. This right here is Plumera, absolutely beautiful. These are in the Bahamas as well as, you know, South Florida as well. You'll see them there. They come in many different colors, yellows, whites, and peaches. This right here is Bougainvillea. It's not in bloom, unfortunately. I wish it were, because you would really see how gorgeous they can be. And this one is a variegated one that you don't see too often, so I thought that was very unusual, and I absolutely love it. And over here now we have some crotons like these. You'll probably see that I have crotons in some of my videos that I grow, and I bring them indoors because you can grow them in pots, you know, during the summer and late spring, early fall, but once it gets below 50 degrees, you'll have to bring them indoors, you know, in your containers. So we can definitely grow these. And I thought that long one there, the long leaves, that one was very unusual. I'd never seen that one before, so I thought that was really nice. And there are so many, you know, different types of crotons, but these are the ones that we saw. And over here, this is the asparagus fern. Not a true fern, but nevertheless very, very beautiful. And they produce tiny little white flowers. And I did a previous fern video, so you can check that out too if you're subscribed. So over here we have a beautiful tropical scenery. You can see the waterfall coming down. And this is actually a mini golf course. And we always like going on those whenever we get a chance to, you know, going out and about. So I just thought it was so gorgeous. I wanted to share that with you as well. So I hope this gave you, you know, some motivation to go to somewhere tropical to just enjoy the flowers. I do want to thank you so much for watching, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Happy gardening and take care.